Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to take a little bit of an educational nursery tour. We have some fantastic shrubs that we want to highlight to you today because we're North Carolina, Zone 7B. It is really like go time for getting shrubs and trees in the ground. We are coming right out of winter. Spring, the official start is just about here, and this is a great time to get shrubs into the ground. That way their roots can get really well established before the heat of the summer hits. So I know a lot of times we think in the summer when everything's blooming, that's a great time to plant, and you can, but actually this is a fantastic time to plant. So we want to share with you some shrubs that really are wonderful. We have used them. They are great. They will give you lots of good, what we call foundational plantings, which simply means they give good structure. People will use these a lot in the front of their houses because I think everything that we're going to share with you today is basically going to be an evergreen. There may be one or two that's not, but for the most part, these shrubs that we're sharing with you are evergreen. That means you have year-round structure and color in your garden, especially like I said, a lot of people will use these in the front of their houses. Of course, we adore the sunshine ligustrum. We have talked about this many times before. This is an evergreen shrub that really is meant for the full sun. When you have the full sun conditions, it is this beautiful chartreuse lime color. Brings massive pop to your garden. And this is a wonderful one to put in your house, not in your house, in front of your house, along somewhere in your garden, because it's easily maintained from, I believe it's like that it says 3 to 6. 6 would be massive and a really, really mature one. We keep ours between 3 to 5 feet. And they prune them once a year, but this color provides a wonderful backdrop, a complementary color to other plants. And so, for example, one of these fantastic complementary plants would be this cerise charm loropetalum. Now, so for example, if this is your landscape, right, a flower bed in the front of your house, you would put the sunshine ligustrum in the back because it's going to be taller and more narrow. Then you can come in here with a cerise charm loropetalum that is that beautiful evergreen again, and it has that really nice, rich, deep purple, maroon color, if you want to call it. And cerise charm is going to be, let me find all my information here. It has red blooms, dark plum, so they call them plum. I like that. Small leaf foliage, compact, low maintenance, deer resistant, not deer proof, deer resistant. And this is going to be 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. So this would be a perfect pairing with the sunshine ligustrum. Loropetalums are for the south. That is kind of a caveat of the loropetalums. It is going to be hardy in zones 7 through 11. Again, getting these plants in the ground now is really helpful because they get established, and then either from the heat of the summer they are good, or in our case when I planted mine in late fall, not this loropetalum, a different loropetalum, and then we had the Arctic blast, they couldn't handle it. So you want to get them in before the heat, or in my case when I did it, I got it in too late. We suffered some winter damage. So that is a great pairing that you can think of. Now, loropetalums come in all shapes and sizes. So we have the cerise charm that's a 3x4 all the way around. Then you can go with other ones. The purple daydream is a nice petite one, like a 2 foot tall. Then you can even go up to some that are massive and huge. Another great one is the ever red, and ever red is going to be a little bit bigger. So this one's going to be what was it, 5 to 6? Yeah, 5 tall, 6 wide. And you can see that it is in bloom. This is the time of year where your loropetalums are in bloom. And then this ever red clearly got its name because it has those beautiful red flowers, but where this one's going to be a little bit bigger. So depending on your space will really dictate which loropetalum you're going to use. Now, we want evergreen, right? Especially in the front of our house, but we also want some color. So the reblooming azaleas are a great option for this. This happens to be from the Encore azaleas. This is Encore, this is Autumn Fire, and you can see it is in bloom. Now, this is a little bit ahead of what it should be typically, but you can see all this beautiful new growth, gorgeous red flowers, and we like Autumn Fire especially because it's going to be a bit more petite. It's only 2.5 feet tall, but 3 feet wide. This would be wonderful in the very front of your flower bed. Very close if you have like a sidewalk going up to your front door. This would be a great one because it's not going to be very big. And at 2.5 feet tall, you really should not have to prune this. If any kind of pruning you would do, it would be if you had a rogue limb that was taller than everybody else, and you would just trim that one limb back. Autumn Fire also is really fun because it will, the foliage on it, when the cooler temperatures hit in the fall and winter, it turns a beautiful bronze. So when it's not flowering, you still have really nice interest in the wintertime from its gorgeous foliage color. So Autumn Fire is a great option that's nice and petite. If you've been around us for any length of time, you know that we love Distillium. Distillium is a wonderful evergreen shrub that, again, foundation planting. You want to talk about low maintenance, this is it. So again, there are different types, different cultivars of Distillium. This one is from First Editions. It is Copper Tone. Copper Tone, as you can see from the new foliage, it really has that nice coppery color. So as that new foliage emerges, you get a color variation on it. Has a nice, a little bit, maybe a fatter leaf than some of the other Distilliums out there. This is going to be full sun to part shade. So a very forgiving plant. It is going to be 3 to 4 feet tall and 4 to 5 feet wide. Another reason why we love Distillium is because so folks who have big areas that they need to fill in, whether it's a bank or I don't know, just a big open area, Distillium is great. So you can plant one shrub and cover up to 4 to 5 feet in that shrub. Really nice. And for my folks who hate pruning, Distillium rarely needs to be pruned. We have it on the bank between the barn and the greenhouse. I have never pruned them because they have that natural weeping, longer, free flow form, and you don't want to prune these into a little meatball. So if you're one that loves to prune things and they're nice and tight and neat, Distillium would not be the one for you. If you like it more flowy, natural feeling, Distillium is a great one. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, but Distillium is very deer resistant. So if you have deer problems, then Distillium might be a great option for you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move over here because we got a new round of, from Southern Living. This is the Chef's Choice Rosemary. We had got our first order in a couple weeks ago, and you people love this as much as I do. Y'all came in here and snatched it up. This is new for us. It is a culinary rosemary, so you absolutely can eat it. It smells amazing. I personally love the way rosemary smells. I'm not a big fan of eating it. So I plan, sweet husband of mine, so we ordered like 30, and he knows that I want to use some of these in the landscape, so he ordered 35, so Jenny gets 5. He's taking care of me, and we're going to use this. I'm going to replace some lavender that has been on the struggle bus for years, and it just looks sad. It's just not a good fit for the garden. So I am going to replace it with this rosemary. I want to have that beautiful evergreen, very low hedge in this certain spot in the garden. So this Chef's Choice is going to be an excellent option for me. Full sun to part sun. It's only going to be about 1.5 feet to 2 feet tall and wide. So very, very manageable. Some rosemary, right, can get huge over time. This will stay more compact, and it is hardy in zones 8 to 10. Now, I am a 7B, so this could be a little iffy for me. So it will be a trial, but where I'm putting it is really, really hot. So this will be a great one. Even if you love rosemary and you want to do things with rosemary, this is a great option for you. Really excited about to have a whole nother slew of these in here. Now we're gonna go this way. As a good girl from North Carolina, I adore honeysuckles. Like that for me is the start of summer when you're sitting out or you're walking and you smell that delicious fragrance of honeysuckle. As a gardener, I don't really like it because it can get so invasive and take over plants. Well, Proven Winners has come out with Sensation. I have planted 2 of these on the berm. I did that in the fall. They handled the Arctic blast like champions. It is a beautiful evergreen vine that will flower, do continuous flowers from mid-spring all the way through the summer. It does that classic honeysuckle flower that we know and adore, and it has a beautiful fragrance, of course. Now this is going to be full sun, and in the berm it is full sun. Hardy in zones 4 to 9, 10 feet tall, 2 to 4 feet wide. So you're definitely going to want to put this somewhere where it can climb. You can see it is already put on all of this beautiful new growth. And y'all, this has overwintered all winter up at production on the shrub lot. We have not touched it. We have not covered it. It literally sat on the shrub lot and nature did her thing and left it alone. And look at this. I mean, fantastic. In fact, Jerry, look at that. Do you see what that is? Those are some little flower buds, y'all. So that is super exciting. But like I said, I put 2 of these on the berm right there on a fence. You're gonna have to kind of start and help it climb. And then once it gets started, you are good to go. But the Sensation, man, y'all, this is a gorgeous, gorgeous shrub. Love this. Big climber. We've already talked about Radiance Abelia. We talked about the previous nursery tour. Another one that we love is Kaleidoscope Abelia. So I think you'll be able to see how it has its name from looking at this and all of its beautiful foliage. So Kaleidoscope has a kaleidoscope of colors on it. The new foliage, as you can see, is a beautiful kind of those orange margins, a little bit of golden yellow. As they mature, they'll go more yellow. They have that green center to them. Abelias are a wonderful evergreen option for folks here in the South. This one is Abelia Radiance is hardy in zones up to zone 6. So 6 and beyond is going to be sun to part shade. You're going to want more sun so you get this color. If it's more in the shade, it's going to lean a little bit more towards a green option. But for my folks who love big, bold colors, you're looking for a nice pop of color in your garden, Kaleidoscope is a great, great option. It is going to be about 30 inches tall and 40 inches wide. So another nice natural habit is mounded and low. Great for the front of your border. So you could put this in front of like some loropetalums, dark foliage. This coming off of it, popping off of it would be beautiful. Late summer, early fall, it will do pure white flowers that the pollinators go crazy. Nice, sweet fragrance to them. So this is a really, really good option for those of you folks who are looking for a nice big pop explosion of color. Kaleidoscope is great. As far as trimming your abelias, I do it about this time of year. Right before the new foliage emerges, just go in and give it a little bit of a trim. Just a nice little haircut. That way you're encouraging new growth and you keep it nice and tight. You don't want them to get too leggy, then they'll get thin and kind of spindly looking. So once a year, this time of year, coming out of winter, going into spring, give it a little trim and it will reward you for another year's worth of nice compact color and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful plants. Can't damage the goods here. You know, what do they say? You break it, you buy it. It's like, oh darn, I damaged a plant. It has to go in Jenny's garden somewhere. So lots of great options. Let's see, Jerry, what am I? Oh, I know what I'm forgetting. Roses. So let's go talk about roses. These are the new roses from Proven Winners that we are growing, and these 2 spent all winter outside. Okay. Jerry, do you see what I see? Look at that. This is Rise Up Ringo. So Proven Winners came out last year, I believe it was, with this new line of roses. There's actually 2 lines. They have the Rise Up series. So this is the, I'll pick this one up because it's a little we'll get it. Rise Up Ringo, obviously, is going to be a nice kind of a buttery yellow flower on it, and it has more kind of a peachy center to it. But the Rise Up series is going to be, you can either use it as a mini climber or a nice tall landscape shrub. I have these in the rose garden, the display garden behind me, and I have the 3 Rise Ups. There's 3 colors in there, and I have one in an obelisk on each of those colors, and then I have 2 that are just beside of it that I'm going to use as a landscape shrub. Really nice, beautiful color, continuous blooms on it. Now, your roses are going to be full sun, so you're going to have to give them lots and lots of sun. They need that sun power to produce these beautiful flowers. Hardy in zones 4 to 9. Extremely adaptable and very healthy shrub. You can use as a shrub or as a climber, and really fun. You're going to space them about 3 to 4 feet apart from each other. So we have the Rise Up, and then we have, that was the Ringo. Let me find my tags here. The Ringos are down here. I'm trying to think, we had another one. Then we have the Reminiscent series, and the Reminiscents are going to be more on what we would think of typically as like your landscape shrub. It's not going to be that mini climber, and this is Crema. Again, look at this beautiful, healthy plant. It did get a little bit of frost damage on it because we had a heavy frost last night, but that's the beautiful thing about roses, is that they bloom on new growth. So if you have a little bit of damage on your roses, don't worry about it. You can trim it off if you want to, or just leave it. It will handle it like a charm. So the Reminiscent series, Crema, this was the very first one I saw at Spring Meadow. It is a gorgeous kind of a buttermilk color. It is not like a pure white, but it's not yellow either. Buttermilk really is about the best description on this one. Again, full sun. And you're gonna still that same zones 4 to 9. This is gonna be about a 3 feet tall by 2 feet wide. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Again, natural time for this one to bloom on it. So while we're here, I'm going to flip around so I can show you what they are looking like in the rose garden. And you can see, like I was saying, the 3 obelisks that go down here. These are all in the obelisk are the Rise Ups. So there's Rise Up Amberness, which is a beautiful rich color. Then we've got like a rich apricot amber color, the lilac, and then the Ringo. But you can see these have flushed out all just gorgeous display. This one is the Rise Up Lilac Days. Look at that. I would say this is probably one of the most vigorous out of the 3. We trimmed these, if you remember that video, is when we trimmed them. But you could have this in your garden right now, and then of course, the one in the obelisk, it will come up and it will bloom these beautiful kind of light lavender lilac flowers on it. So really fun. So if you're looking for a new way to do roses, more disease resistant, can handle the heat and humidity, a little bit more resistant to that powdery mildew, to black spot, does really well here. Last year, these went in the ground. I don't think that this time last year, this flower bed was here. So these are less than a year old in the garden, and they bloomed and did great, but it still was the first year of the roses. So I can't wait to see how they do this year, because clearly they are very happy plants and they love this spot. So we have lots of options for you here at Creekside. We are open Wednesdays through Saturday, 9 to 3. That is going to be our schedule for the rest of the year. So people are asking, are you open on Good Friday? You know, are you open on this day or that day? Wednesday, if it's a Wednesday through Saturday, we're here from 9 to 3, and we look forward to seeing you. Any way we can help you, we look forward to it. If you're not local to Creekside Nursery, go visit your local garden center. They too have beautiful plants, and they would love to help you in your garden. So reach out to your local garden center, because I have folks asking me all the time. I live in Southern California. I live in Washington State. I live in New Mexico. I would love to help you, but I'm not an expert in your region. Those local garden center people are your experts in that region. So reach out to them and ask them for their help. I know that they would be happy to help you. As always, thanks so much for gardening with Creekside. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.